right, hello YouTube. My name's Aaron with Thrive Outdoor Solutions. I just wanted to say thank you for stopping by today. We're going to be going over a couple different things. So questions are, have you maybe gotten new sod around your property? Maybe you've gone out and installed some new landscaping around your house. Or maybe you just decided to toss out that old Rainbird controller and update with a new Hunter Wi-Fi enabled controller. But today we're going to show you how to create a program in the application of Hydrawise and show you exactly what you need to know about that. So without further ado, before we get started, if you could do us a favor, hit that like button and subscribe button down below to receive notifications for whenever we create a new video. With that being said, let's get to it. Okay, so you want to start in creating a program on your Hydrawise application. And there's the best way to go about doing this is by the little zone section. If you can see the little pointer down here at the very bottom where you have all of your quick menu bar options, like quick menu options, this is where you will use your zone option here. You will go into where it says programs up at the upper left hand side underneath zones and schedules. Click the programs, and as you can see, it'll show all of the listed programs that you have. Now we have a couple different ones just from creating tutorials and whatnot, but we're going to create another one just off the whim. We can use pretty much whatever we want. We don't necessarily have to be anything, but it has to obviously be more specific whenever you are using your Hydrawise application. So if you have a flower bed, you want to create a program with just your flower bed, this will help out with that. So what you're going to do is down here you'll see it says add program. You'll click that add program button and it'll bring you to this screen. When adding a program, the name really is up to you. You can go off and say, you know, if you want to, you can name it, you know, whatever you want. For this tutorial, we're just going to say it's flower bed. So type in flower bed there. Well, let's see if I can spell it correctly. Flower bed. Wow, terrible today. B-E-D. There we go. Okay, so yes, whenever you're creating this program, obviously the name can be whatever you'd like it to be. We always recommend for you underneath the program type to use your time-based schedule. It's just, in a personal opinion, it's just more accurate. Virtual Solar Sync does what we call evapotranspiration, and it basically is basing the program time using those evapotranspiration rates based on a daily reading. And we just find it to be more accurate whenever you use your time-based schedule. And it's just something that you can go in and change the day or the time manually, and it can be more precise that way. So that's something that we've considered, but you're more than welcome to do it however you'd like to. So once you've created your name and you've clicked the time-based schedule or virtual solar sync, depending on what you want to use, you'll hit the next button here, and it'll take you to your start times and your watering days. Now, depending on the type of house and also the functionality of the program, if you're running a flower bed and you have drip line in your flower bed, you can run that every day of the week, and there's no regulation on how long you can run it for, so, or when you start it. So, but with your regular spray heads, if you're running those, we recommend, in the state of Texas, it's basically set for, if you have the last digit of your house is an even number, your standard days of watering are going to be set for Wednesday and Sunday. Whereas if the last digit on your house number is going to be odd, your numbered and scheduled days would be Thursday and, Wednesday and Saturday for your even days, Thursday and Sunday for your odd days. Now with program start times, we recommend that if you're doing the full program where it's running all of your sprinkler system, we recommend to run those earlier in the morning. It's just better options, the more optimal conditions to run. You know, obviously the big player is the sun is not out, so the evaporation is not going to take place, and that's the main reason why we start them early. But when it comes to your flower beds, you really, you know, can run them whenever you'd like to. So if you want, you know, you can run multiple start times. Since this is a flower bed, we will go ahead and run multiple start times. The first start time at 5 a.m., we'll say, well, let's go ahead and move that to 6:30. So start at 6:30 in the morning. Now, if depending on the type of phone you are using, I'm on an Android Galaxy S10 Note Plus. So it might be slightly different if you're on an Apple product. The way that you change the time will be different, but it is going to get the job done nonetheless. So just don't worry about necessarily operation systems. Just kind of make sure that you can kind of get comfortable with it, right? There's a lot of different things that play into it, so just kind of keep that in mind. But what you're going to do is obviously hit set. It'll take you to it, and then we're going to add another start time. We're going to go ahead and drop that down, and we're going to hit PM. But we're going to run that for 7:30 PM. And that way you'll have 2 start times for your flower beds, especially in the heat of the summer. I know in Texas it gets crazy hot, so we want to obviously make sure that our flower beds are staying watered frequently. So the 2 start times could be pretty beneficial for you. But once again, you're the best you know the most about your property. So you're the best eyes for your property. If you kind of can see your flowers and they look like they're wilting, add a little bit more of a program time to it, change the time, or even add maybe another start time in the middle of the day. Maybe you're not running your programs for long enough. There's a couple different things that play into it, but just play with your system, get familiar. So from here on out, once you do this, once you get your start time set up and your watering days, you'll hit next, and this will come into selecting your zones. So in this system is not an actual working system. It's just something that we kind of created to kind of create and show you these tutorial videos. So we'll say zone 1 and zone 6 are flower beds. So we'll click that. And zone 1 and zone 6, once they're checked, these are going to be running in the program. So you'll say we'll run zone 1, and this is dependent on how long you run these, is dependent on what type of irrigation you have. So say if you just created, like you've had an existing system and you have shrub risers in that area and zone, your flower bed zone, we recommend running shrub risers a little less because of the spray head puts out a lot more water than drip zones. Drip irrigation is a great form of irrigation because it's going directly into the ground, but it doesn't put out as much water in gallons per minute wise than your typical spray heads would. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. And once again, just focusing on making sure that you're keeping an eye on your property. If you feel like changes need to be made, then make those changes as you see fit. Once this is all said and done, and if you set your program times, you can hit the next button. Now, what we always recommend in this particular appointment is schedule adjustments. We always recommend to uncheck all of the predictive watering aspects right here. The reason why we uncheck these options is because that we install a rain and freeze sensor on all of our systems, and you don't necessarily need the predictive watering. And we've also, once again, found that to be pretty inaccurate, being that in the state of Texas, it's hard to kind of judge with you being, the weather station may not be right directly over your property or even near it. It could be about 10 miles down the road, and the change in weather here is just it fluctuates very often, so it's hard to judge. Now, the rain and freeze sensors really just kind of eliminate any kind of guessing when it comes to it. It's telling you exactly what's happening on your property, so that's why we use those. The grow-in program is something that we recommend that if you get sod, or if you're doing like a seeding or any kind of like if you're growing tulips and you get the bulbs and you're waiting for those to grow and you need them to get a certain amount of water longer than what you would normally do, this grow-in program is going to be great for you because you can select a start date. If you click these 2 boxes, you can go through and actually create a start date for you. And then also on the other side of it, you can create an end date. So it's going to be able to say, you know what, I just want it to run for the month of, March, or say late February, and then I want it to end in April. You can set that up to where it'll get that taken care of for you. But for the sake of just kind of running this and showing you how to create a program, we'll go on to the next aspect of it. This seasonal and monthly adjustments, we will also go really in depth with the monthly adjustments in another video. And if you haven't watched that video, we will leave a link in the description below. And that way you can go back and kind of get a little bit more of an understanding with the monthly adjustments. So that way you can get pretty familiar with those. But we're not going to get too far into that. With your monthly adjustments, like I said, just watch that video and it'll help you out with getting these set properly. because it can get pretty in depth, especially depending on the area that you are in. If you were in the state of Texas, as you well know, it gets pretty crazy in the state of Texas with weather, but up north these might be completely different from what we do here in Texas. So with that being said, once you are all done with these and you've created this and watched that video and come back to kind of get these squared away, you can hit that OK button down there at the bottom right, and then it will save all of your programs. So I have quite a few programs already set up, so that's gonna be a problem. So but once you hit that program and you save it, you can go in here and see that it actually is running and looking well. You can check on it and make sure that it is saved. The 3 program is obviously something that we're not able to do, but 3 programs is the maximum. So we have a little bit too much, but that's pretty much how you would go through setting up that program for you. Okay. With that being said, thank you so very much for watching the video. I hope that this video has helped you in many ways. Once again, if you can do us a favor and hit that like and subscribe button and turn on alerts for whenever we create new content so you can get notified, and be sure that the subscription will be able to help us out with being able to bring you more up-to-date content and be able to help you out. With that being said, thank you so very much. My name was Aaron with Thrive Outdoor Solutions, and have a blessed day.